Good late afternoon, everybody. Here it's about 11:15 on Monday. It is time for episode 14, part 2 of Boy, Do I Have a Story for You, the dating game. On Wednesday, we touched on my adventures of online dating from '09 to 11. Now we are going to talk about when Dusty met his Susan on August 3rd, 2011. I'll tell you what, like I said, my online dating experiences were a doozy with those three other women I talked about last week. But I said, you know what? I was doing the two sites, Gay Hookup and Plenty of Fish when they were free and when they were up and running. And I'm like, you know what? I was starting to get really pissed off. I'm like, damn it. I'm like, we got to do something here. Like, if I get off, give it a break, and da-da-da-da-da. Well, my golden rule was, I don't talk to somebody without a photograph. And a lot of these women on these websites, both of them, didn't have pictures. Some of them did, some of them didn't. So I decided, one day I was screwing around, just looking at things, reading people's profiles and all that crap. And, I come across this schnitzer poodle with some numbers on it. No picture. I'm like, She said she's into hockey and NASCAR. Well, I was into hockey. I can give two craps about NASCAR, but she was into hockey, and I liked hockey. So I messaged her. Told her who I was. I said, my name's Dusty. I have a disability. I put that in both my profiles, by the way, which my buddy Jake, who got me onto these things, he says, let them know, take out the fact that you're disabled. I can't do that because, then they're more turned off, they're more apt not to go out with you to begin with. So I click on this snitzer poodle thing. I'm like, okay, she don't have a picture. Maybe I should ask for a picture, I'm thinking, before I even send her a message. Well, I'll just send her a message, right? I sent her this message, told her who I was, blah, blah, blah. Let it go. This was, I think, at the end of the week. This was, I think, a Friday. I'm like, if you want to talk, I said, I don't do this emailing crap back and forth. I hated it because back then there wasn't no app for it. And you could only email. And I had a phone that you really couldn't get messages on or get on the internet really well. And I said, if you want to talk, here's my number. Okay. Well, back then, I used to shut my cell phone off at nighttime where nobody can text me, call me, right? So the next morning I get up. I was going up to my camp for the weekend. This was on a Friday. And I turn my phone on and, it takes time to boot up or whatever. Turn my phone on and the next thing you know, I get this message from a 724 area code. And it had a number on it. I'm looking at it going, who the hell is this? I thought it was somebody trying to sell me something. I open up the message. Said, hey, this is Susan I'm like, Susan? Who the hell is Susan? I'm thinking to myself. I'm like, I don't know if it's a scam or what, And she's like, hey, good morning. This is Susan from the internet. I'm like, oh, Susan. She's like, yeah. I'm like, hey, I'm going away for the weekend, and we were texted her a little bit. I'm like, if you want to go out, I'm up for going out next week. I said, what's your work schedule? She goes, well, I'm off on Wednesday. I said, perfect. And go out then. And I said, I'll give you a call. I got your number here. I'll give you a call when I get home. So I go do my thing over the weekend. I get back on, Monday. And I call her Monday afternoon. Thinking, I know how this is going to go. This is not even going to get off the ground. And I call her up. She answers. Okay. We start talking. It's like on a Monday. I said, hey, would you like to go out? And I said, what's your work schedule? So like I told you, I was off on Wednesday or whatever day it was, the 3rd of August. And I said, cool. I said, I'm like, what do you want? I'm like, I can't drive. I said, I can meet you somewhere. I'm like, where are you located? I live in Newcastle. I'm like, well, the only thing I knew about Newcastle was how good their basketball team was. Anything about the city of Newcastle. So, excuse me. So anyway, she's like, yeah, we'll go. And I'm thinking, she's laughing the whole time we're on the phone. the whole time on the phone. Either it was nerves or what it was. I'm like, well, she's, where do you want to meet up at? I'm like, how about we meet at the waterfront down by Dave and Buster's? Kennywood's in that general area. I said, why don't we meet there? Grab dinner and then I'll meet you there and then you can drive me to my house, drive me home if you wouldn't mind. Oh, I don't mind. So I'm like, okay, cool. I was like, here we go. And obviously, I told my mother, I said, I'm going out with this girl from the internet. She goes, again, another date, a fourth one. I said, yeah. The other three were a nightmare, obviously, as it's well documented from last week. And I told you guys about. But yeah, I told my mom, I'm like, yeah, I'm going on another date. I said, her name's Susan from Newcastle. I'm like, oh, how's this going to go? I think I'll let you know. So I meet up with her. I get down there. I'm there early. I'm standing outside the restaurant. She got lost. No surprise. So she sees me standing there. And normally when you go on a date with a woman, I don't care if you know the woman or if it's just a blind date like this situation was. Normally you have flowers or something. Some a rose or something. Me? No. Me, I have flip-flops from a case of beer I just bought a couple days ago. Yeah, it came with a free pair of flip-flops I couldn't wear. And I said, here you go. Oh, ain't that nice of you? I'm like, oh. I says, I just got these things. I said, I don't even know what freaking size they are. And we hugged and all that. And we went in and ate dinner. So we're sitting there and I'm thinking, I'm like, please don't let this be another Kelsey or another Melissa, where you're sitting here with me for a half hour, 45 minutes, and we don't talk, or the first 10 minutes and you tell me you're sleeping with somebody else. That's all I need, okay? We start talking. There was a little bit of silence, awkward silence, and we really didn't say much. And I'm thinking to myself, damn it, if I don't start talking, I'm a fourth one right down the drain. If I don't start talking, I'm fried, right? So I start talking about the Penguins or something. I don't even know what we started talking about. And I said, yeah, no. We were talking about hockey and all this other crap. And I said, yeah, I see you're into NASCAR. Oh, I love NASCAR. I think it's the dumbest thing known to man. That's just what I'm thinking in my brain, I'm like, that's just stupid. I'm thinking, I'm not a big fan of a car going around in a circle for 4 hours. So we get done eating, and she's like, what do you want to do now? And I'm like, I says, there's an Eaton Park here. I says, let's go for a walk. And I really wasn't familiar with, after you leave TGI Fridays, what there is in that general area. I knew there was an Eaton Park and some other things. But I'm like, why don't we just go for a walk around this somewhere we can go for a walk. And luckily enough, right behind Eaton Park, there's this walking path. I've never seen it, but this is the first time I've seen it. So I'm walking with this woman, holding her hand, and I'm walking with her, thinking, this is nice, but And then we're talking, and we just sit and we're talking. I mean, we're just talking. We're just talking. There's no kissing. There's no nothing. And then I proceed, it starts getting real late and real dark. So now we're going to go back to my mom's house. Okay, so I'm going to let this woman take me back from the waterfront at Homestead, Pittsburgh, back to my mom's house. Well, of course, I don't know how to get there. We figure it out, but you don't even know where you live. It was dark. I couldn't see. Hey, that's what I blamed it on. So anyways, finally get to my mom's. And you get there, you pull in front of the house, and you're thinking to yourself, oh crap. My dumbass decides to say, hey, why don't you come in? Okay, let me show you the house. Why don't you come in? So she comes in the house. I show her the house, the living room, the kitchen, the dining room, my bedroom. Then we come back downstairs. And we're standing at the door. At my mom's house, there's a shelf. Once you walk in the front door on the right-hand side, there's this shelf you can put junk on. I'm standing there holding on to that shelf. And I'm like, yeah, sorry, I didn't know. When we looked at each other, we just looked at each other. Next thing you know, we start making out. I made out with this one for 2 hours. Nothing else happened. There was a lot of things going on I'd rather not get into here. But we made out for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Oh, it was the wildest makeout session you'll ever want to imagine. So, anyway, somehow or another, I end up with my shirt off. Somehow I end up with my shirt off. Don't ask me how the hell that happened. End up with my shirt off. She's like, I gotta go. Okay. So I'm out there with no shirt on. This is 11 o'clock. I'm out there with no shirt on. We go outside, and we're still making out up against her car. Here comes my mother. Around the corner. I'm thinking, oh shit. So she hurries up and gets in the car. I get in the house. My mother comes into the house. She goes, what the F was that? I'm like, what? She goes, what the hell you doing with your shirt off? I'm like, it was hot in here. She goes, was she in the house? I was like, yeah. She goes, did anything happen? I said, I just don't have a shirt on. I was getting hot. And my mom says, what the hell was she doing in this house? She goes, that's a girl from the internet. I said, her name's Susan. She goes, well, why would you invite her in? I'm like, because I'm an idiot. That's why I invited her in. That's exactly why you kind of do that. I should have just got out of the friggin' car. But I didn't do that. I invited this woman I don't know into my home. That sounds like a friggin' great idea. And I didn't know the makeout session was going to happen. She goes, you made out for 2 hours. She goes, did anything else happen? I said, no. Do you see me with no pants on? Sitting here in my boxer shorts? No, nothing else happened. So after I get through all that crap, I get a phone call about an hour later, maybe an hour and a half later, from Susan. I'm down in my basement in my refrigerator. In my laundry room. And she calls. She's like, hey, I had a nice time. Yeah, we were lip locking for the last 90 minutes. I'm like, my mom just got home. She says, what'd she say? I'm like, I had to explain to her what was going on. She says, well, I'm sorry about that. I'm like, don't worry about it. It's no big deal. I had to fight. I'll deal with it. And so she's like, can I see you again? And I'm like, when? This was, I believe, a Wednesday. I'm like, she's like, well, I'm off the weekend. You are? She says, yeah, I want to come over. Can I stay the night? Fine with me. I don't give a damn. So she ended up staying the night, and obviously 15 years later, the rest is history. So it worked out. Like I said, God told me, he didn't tell me no, yes, no. He told me I got to wait for the perfect woman. And 15 years later, I found the perfect woman. Been with her for 15, been married to her for almost 8 and a couple of weeks from now on the 18th of August. Couldn't ask for anything better. Like I told you in that announcement I had last Monday, how I got all emotional. Man, she turned my life around, man. I got to see things that I never had a chance to see. I got to go on cruises. I got to go here. I got to do whatever the hell I wanted to do the last 14 years now. But it's been nothing but great, even though we've had our challenges, obviously with our house and that over the last 2 years now. So, but we keep trucking along. I couldn't ask for a better partner in crime. So, like I said, if you're ever, I said this in one of my other videos, guys, just keep fighting and keep, if you're looking for, for example, if you're looking to meet somebody, just keep looking for that person. I mean, God, if you have your trust in God and in the Lord, you're going to find that person. It took me, like I said, another 3 years to find this woman, and I found her. She accepted me. For me, a lot of people I talked to online were very, judgmental, but they only went out with me because I was disabled, I think. So like I said, man, just keep looking, keep fighting. And if it's not even about dating or anything, just keep fighting for whatever you got going on. Like I said this in previous videos. Keep fighting. Keep believing. Keep trusting in the Lord because He does great things. I mean, look what He did with me in 2020. Gave me a pacemaker that I didn't think I didn't need all these years. Look, I'm here. I truly believe that if it wasn't for me meeting Susan, I don't know if I would be sitting here telling you these stories. You know, at least this today, and then the one I taught, my announcement last week. She saved my life, and I don't even know if I meet somebody else. Who knows if my diagnosis is found? I mean, I moved in with her, and I broke my finger in 20 during COVID, and look, they find a heart issue that I didn't know I had. Who's to say I don't find that heart issue if I meet somebody else? Who's to say I'm here, like I said? So just keep believing, guys. Keep trusting in the Lord, whatever it is. If you're sick or you're battling cancer, disease, whatever, because I know somebody that's doing it, keep fighting. Keep on fighting. Keep on believing. Keep on trusting. That's all I could say. And a little precursor to the rest of this week, I will not be posting a Boy, I Have a Story for You, episode 15. I'm going to prove to the world on Wednesday that I am disabled. Because the look of me looks to seem that I'm not disabled. You're going to find out on Wednesday morning that I am disabled. I'm not going to tell you what that is. You're just going to have to watch my channel and find out. Again, guys, thank you for the love of the support. Like and subscribe to the channel. Share the content. I got my own catalog of videos you can watch. Shorts you can watch. Watch them. Be inspired by them. Laugh by them. Cry by them. Whatever suits your fancy. I got a variety in here, so enjoy them. And again, believe, no limitations, ignore the noise, and prove people wrong, and God bless you all.